Only supposed to be 5 of us here, but there's only 3, so we can do it. So we'll call it to order. Okay. We have 2 public hearings for this evening.
Yep.
Okay, and we are going to do them one at a time, and I've chosen to do them in the order that the original applications were placed. So let me look at this. And this one placed in May 19th by Ronnie Baumgartner.
Yep.
That's you?
That is me.
Ronnie?
49.
Okay, great.
Hummingbird.
Okay. His request for variance for his permit was to install a fence on the back portion of his property. And he wants to have that fence to go over and connect to the neighbor's fence.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I could see, when I looked at it on Beacon Maps, the neighbor's fence is located right on the property line.
Mm-hmm.
So he would need a variance to be able to extend it past the 3-foot,
Right.
the 3-foot setback to be able to connect to the fence.
My question would be, are the 2 fences on your property line, are they gonna be 3 foot from the line?
Yes.
So they'll be 3 foot from the line on, my directions are off, but on each side of your home,
Yeah, on the
but they'll
north
go
and
all the
south.
way, yeah, I thought it was north and
Yeah.
south at that
Yeah.
one, but they'll go all the way to the back.
Yep.
And have you approached the property owner of that fence? They were notified of this,
I have not.
they were notified via certified
They
letter,
were
right?
notified of the public hearing, certainly, yes. But
I
this
know.
is an instance where it is connecting to the other person's fence, but it doesn't cross over into the neighbor's property, so no permission from the neighbor is required for this.
Well, I thought it'd be, yours will be freestanding, it's just gonna butt against
Yeah,
it?
it's
Yeah,
gonna butt
okay.
against it.
I mean, if you were gonna attach to it, that's why I asked.
Yes.
Okay.
And one question I have, for the fence on each side, you know, not the rear part of the fence, but the other side, those will still apply to the 3-foot setback
That's correct.
Yeah,
over
yes.
there?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's correct.
okay, because that wasn't drawn on the map.
And the height of the fence?
6 foot.
And no one is here to speak against? I don't have an issue with it.
No,
I'd make a motion to approve variance number 25-3, allowing Mr. Baumgartner to take the fence to the property line to abut his neighbor's fence.
Second.
Okay. The motion is made and seconded. Are there any more comments from anyone about this? Any more questions from you two fellows?
I got it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And nobody's opposed. So it has passed. You have you will get the variance for your permit, and as soon as you get the variance notification, then you can go right ahead with it.
All right, thank you.
And I'll
And
get this
I
stuff into
apologize
the,
for the time
into
for
the
your
office
permit
tomorrow morning.
application too. We'll strive to do better. Hopefully the contractor's not,
I think I just missed one.
yeah, I understand.
When I do get that variance, is that when I need to, because I understand there's be an extra charge for the variance? And do I take?
You pay the certified letter fees, yeah,
Okay.
whatever that, they'll have it in the utility office there,
Just show
whatever
it
the
at the
fees
utility
were for that,
Okay.
however many letters had to be sent, and then your $15 for the permit.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's all you have to pay
That's it.
for that.
Yep.
Am I good to go?
Yes, sir.
You're good.
Yeah,
Okay, gentlemen.
thank you.
There go.
Okay,
Have a good evening. Thank you.
guys.
okay. First one is done. The second one was an application that was applied on June the 5th from Caitlin Little and Vernon Robinson. I get the names right? Okay, all right. And their permit was for a fence to install a residential privacy fence. And this also is in the rear section of the property. The fence then connecting to their house and going to the back side of the property to also connect into the neighbor's fence. And that, it's also another thing that, that neighbor's fence is actually, when I saw it on Beacon Maps, the fence there is actually on their property and not on the property line. So if you connect back there, I hope you've already talked to them.
I've went over there several times. I've yet to raise her. We have conversation with her because she hadn't been home. I don't know
Okay.
if she's on vacation or gone, but I've made a couple attempts and I didn't want to explain to her about the fence and what have you as far as being over, what have you. My goal is just to run a section up to her fence without, you know, attaching or anything, but just to enclose the backyard of my property.
Okay,
But I believe what Mr. Hill is saying, though, if you go, and I want to pull it up to look at it. I looked at it earlier. And if you go as far back as her fence is, you're actually crossing over your property line. That's
well, there's another thing about that I want to bring up, that
yes, Mr. Hill.
I know there are times, well, first off, I better ask this. The shed that's back there on the
That's
back,
mine.
that's yours?
Right.
Okay. Did you install that shed?
It was just a delivery, one of those shed, add water and you got a shed type deal.
Yeah, delivered
One-
prefabricated
Yeah.
shed. Yeah.
I think, Vern, what they need to understand is you also own the hayfield directly to the west.
Yes.
That's what I was.
Okay.
How'd you know what I was just looking up?
Anyway, I was going by the property line as it's shown on Beacon, but fact
Actually-
is, I've looked at property line on my own property and it's wrong by about 12 feet on my property. And the Beacon shows the property line going right through the middle of that shed.
So,
So that's pretty much has to be off.
But it would be-
no,
but it
but
would
he
be
owns,
his property.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Hill, he owns both, and so that, thank you for pointing that out, Mr. Smith. Yeah, I see that. So,
So anyway.
is your fence going to be west of the shed?
It's gonna come off the north side
Mhm.
of the shed and go back to the east. And then the west side of the shed is just gonna be running horizontal, back to the south, up against the other fence.
Okay.
It's just like, square.
Yeah. But then when it gets over to the corner, then that's where it connects to the neighbor's fence?
Yeah, just the south side.
Yeah.
South side and, yeah, going south.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Okay.
parcel lines on Beacon are for guidance only. They're never that accurate.
Yeah,
So it's actually two sections of fence, one from heading east from the shed and the other heading south from the shed.
Correct.
Yep.
okay. So
I don't have
it's a request just to connect to the neighbor's fence, and the fence, the rest of the fence will be connected to the house. And
There's what we're talking about.
And it won't even be, the one extending from the house on both corners, it won't even be close to the 3-foot setback
So
from the
he owns
side.
the other parcel there
Correct.
to the west,
Okay,
that, you know, and then the one that granted, what's his name, about the north end of that parcel, if you recall, I can't think of his name, you know, Donnie's grandson owns that piece up, Jimmy, thank you, yeah. Owns the piece at the north.
okay. So we don't really have a situation for it being on to the
Nope.
neighbor's fence because we're just gonna make the assumption that that other neighbor's fence is on the property line and you're just joining right up to it there. Okay. All right, any more questions? Any more statements?
Height of the fence, 6 feet?
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions. I'd entertain them. I'd make a motion, sorry, wrong meeting, to, to approve the variance 25-4, I believe.
Second.
Yep, 25-4.
Okay, we have a motion and second to pass the variance for this permit so that they can build the fence from their house back to the shed and then connect to the neighbor's fence. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it's passed.
Thank you.
I'll turn all the papers into the girls in the office tomorrow and they'll get your permit going as soon as they can.
Appreciate it. Good one,
Thank you for
fellas.
your patience.
Take care, good night.
Enjoy the fair.
So, we're adjourned at 6:12.
Yeah, I'd make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Tap the menu.